Hey y'all, Matt here with Bobcat Bonsai, and today we are going to go over how I do an air layer. So let's get to start out with how I do my air layers, right? I got my tub of damp sphagnum. I can never say this right. Sphagnum moss. I've got that. I've got 3 wires here, 2 short ones that wrap top bottom, 1 long one that I wrap around the middle. I've got a nice recycled piece of white plastic from it's more of a rough textured sphagnum moss that I use to mix in with the soil to break up the clay a little bit. Got some rooting powder. This is just the kind I use, not a kind that I recommend. I recommend using whatever works, and if you don't need it, don't use it at all. And I've got my little brush right here that I like to take my rooting powder and I get it on the brush, and I like to flick the brush like this onto it. That way the brush doesn't touch the where I did my cuts. Also, almost forgot the most important part of all to do it, a knife. Alright, let's head out to this little trident maple that I want to air layer and get right to. Okay, so with this little guy right here, here's what I know. I want this top section. I love that. And if I can save this bottom section and get that to become its own little tree too, that would be awesome. And I love that. So my thought is, I want to put my cut right here, and that's going to be the top. So that's where the roots are going to begin at. So I'm just going to come in, I'm going to push and rotate the knife. Alright, so push and rotate the knife. Sorry, I know my arm's going right in the middle of your face in the process here, but that's kind of how this one's gotta be. So I got that there. Now this is not a super thick trunk, a little bit bigger than a pencil. So I'm gonna drop it down to about right in here. So almost an inch down. Okay. And I try to keep it as level as possible, but that's not always as easy as what it would seem to be. So now, just gonna cut right up to the middle here. And then just begin to pop this off the best you can. So this little one is going to be a blast, I can tell, because it's not seeming to want to separate. There we go. So pretty much what you're looking for here is you want to get all of the bark off. And get rid of the cambium layer as well. Okay? If the cambium layer is still there, then we're going to run into an issue with it growing back over itself, and that's not good. That's not what you want at all. If that happens, you kind of find yourself in a bit of trouble, because now you got a super nasty knot and you got to redo your entire process. And this can be a timely process. Mostly the waiting. The waiting's the timely part. Sorry, I should have been a little bit more specific there. Other than the waiting, it's a relatively quick process. So we've got almost all the bark and cambium layer off. And then the last little thing we're going to do here is just rub the knife up and down to just really ensure that we got it all off. Alright, so that's all nice and cleaned up there. Now I'm going to come in with my rooting hormone here, and I'm just going to take it, dip the brush in here, okay? And then it's definitely recommended that you don't inhale this. So if you're like me, out in the wind trying to do this, good luck not having some blow back in your face. That's just the fun part of it here. Okay, so now I'm going to take my clear plastic here, and I may have to cut this down a little bit. I was just kind of guesstimating when I made this. We're just going to come in here like so. And try and completely wrap the bottom here to create almost like a cone, which I'll show you looking down from the top here in a second. And then we're going to come in here with the wire tie and just really get it cinched down there, because you want to hold the moisture up there. So a lot of people recommend using clear plastic, which is great because you can see the roots, and I do love that myself. But I do also recommend that you recycle as much plastic as you can and not just throw it away. So if all you have is white plastic to use, then just use white plastic or green plastic or any plastic. Whatever you got, it'll work. All right, here we go. So we have moist but not soaking wet sphagnum moss, right? You squeeze it, it's a little bit damp, but it's not sopping wet where it's just dripping water out everywhere. So the mistake I used to make is I used to only put a little bit in there. Don't just put a little bit, pack it full. Just pack it super full. That's going to be your best bet at a great success, is making sure that you pack as much sphagnum moss in there as you can get, okay? So we've got that packed in there, and now we're getting our little wrap right below that branch. We're going to come in with our other little short wire here and just tie this little guy up. Alright, so that little one's tied up. Sometimes I wrap the middle wire around here, but this one was big enough that I don't have to. So the last step, honestly, I just need to get a marker and write the date on here, and it will be all done. So, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content, subscribe to my channel. And if you really enjoy my content, hit the bell notification so you get notified every time I release a new video. Thank you.